We are into third topic in mechanics, motion in two dimensions, where broadly we can have two groups in this topic as vectors and projectile motion slash circular motion at the end of it. So projectile motion and circular motion have applications of the vectors that we learned in the beginning. So almost like it is half vectors, remaining half projectile motion and circular motion in this topic of motion in two dimensions. Motion in one dimension is about one particular direction of movement. A particle may travel along a straight line along the ground, or it may be a vertical fall, vertical raise of a body, etc. These are all one direction motion. If I throw a body this way with an inclination, then it will travel along a curved path. Here, if you take the different positions of the particle at different instants of time, you can notice that you are going to change along x direction and y direction. X, y, it is your choice. If you are having a horizontal plane, you can take your right side direction as x, front, vertically front part as y. And in this vertical plane, I can take right side x, top as y, x, y. Should come like this. So along x direction and y direction, you can see change. X, it may be something like 1 centimeter, here 2 centimeter. This is like 1, 2. And here 2 and say 3 centimeter. X axis 2, y axis 3, and so on. So change happens along x as well as y direction, and that is referred to as motion in two dimensions, or motion in a plane. In the vertical plane, you can see the movement of particle in this case. Now, to learn more about this projectile motion, what we call, we should know about the basics regarding vectors. Regarding vector, I had mentioned about one statement in the beginning of our syllabus as physical quantities with the magnitude as well as a direction. You got a value for so-called vector, and there is a particular direction. Simple example is this fall. As the body falls, we can associate one physical quantity called a displacement. This is the starting point or initial point. This is final point. And this displacement from initial to final has a particular direction. It has a value. This much is the value, something like say 10 meter. Direction from top to bottom. So it is a vector with the value as well as direction. Displacement, vertical displacement. Sometimes you can call it as height. Height is not always vertical displacement. Height is actually a scalar quantity. A value only we have in that one. But the value of height is equal to displacement in this particular case, if it's allowed to fall freely like this. Similarly, if I throw a body upwards, this will be the starting point, initial, and here is a final point. And direction of displacement is upwards in that particular case. Acceleration due to gravity is always downwards, because acceleration of the body is due to the gravitational pull on it. So force is towards center of earth, therefore acceleration due to gravity also is directed downwards. So these are some examples: displacement, acceleration due to gravity, force, velocity, where we see value as well as a particular direction. Now these vectors can be represented by a line. Vector has a magnitude as well as direction. It is represented by a line with an arrow mark. Now this line what I have shown implies that if I mention, say each is a centimeter, 1 centimeter is equal to, if I keep a scale of 5 Newton, then what does it mean? What we can say in a statement is indicated by this line with an arrow mark. What does it mean? I have shown 2 centimeter length here. That means 10 Newton force is acting. It is like you must be knowing about sketch of a land, some 8 cents, 10 cents, etc. land if it is there. You have got a sketch, proper sketch, official one, some length indicating there. The entire say 50 or 100 feet length is indicated by some 2-3 inches. Each inch corresponding to something like 10.5 or 15 or 20 feet, etc. Similarly, in vector also, a particular length indicates a particular amount. So I mean here 1 centimeter 5 Newton, and this length now indicates 10 Newton force in a particular direction shown here. And in the same case, if I draw a line this way, what does it mean? What is the meaning of this? 15 Newton force. If I call this as 2 centimeter, this must be called 3 centimeter. You can see proper scale here. So this is exactly 15 Newton in the direction shown, arrow mark. So arrow mark gives the change in direction for this particular vector, and the length variation here indicates that magnitude also is different for this. So that is one vector representation by a line whose length gives a magnitude. Length of the line indicates magnitude, and arrowhead indicates direction. Also, you can represent vector by an alphabet like this, with an arrow mark above that alphabet. A arrow mark implies again a vector. This also means some magnitude is there for this particular vector, which is understood by this arrowhead above this, or one more way is writing AI or AJ or AK, etc., which also means there is a value as well as direction. This IJK, etc., with a cap indicates a particular direction. Conventionally, if I cap follows an alphabet, it means magnitude is A, the direction is along x-axis. We can take towards the right side as x-axis from origin. So direction of this vector is towards right, and value is A, which is something like say 10i. Magnitude is 10, direction is along x-axis. If I write minus 6j, what does it mean? Spandana. Minus 6j if I write, what is the meaning of that? You understood what I have said so far? What is the meaning, Darshan? Along the j means what? If I is x-axis, j is what? Y-axis. Minus j I have written means a negative y-axis. This top direction we take as y, it is actually downwards. In my graph, minus 6j is the meaning of that. So in simple, these different notations indicate a particular magnitude as well as a direction. So vector is a short form, like dimensional formula we have seen, mathematical representations of given physical quantity in terms of different symbols. This also is a representation of physical quantity. Both magnitude and direction we can get from these kind of notations. Next, we have to see different types of vectors. There are various types of vectors, like first of all, unit vector, null vector, negative vector, equal vectors, like vectors, unlike vectors, concurrent vectors. No, you don't have to write all these things. This is not a big issue to know how many types or which are the different types, etc. What is very important for us is this unit vector, negative vector, and to some extent like vectors, unlike vectors. So each and everything is not a very important issue in this discussion. Just I'm mentioning. What is unit vector? Already I mentioned something about that. Unit vector is a vector with the one magnitude. Magnitude is equal to 1 or unity for that. Something like 1 meter displacement. If I take 1 meter displacement, it is a unit vector. 1 meter displacement. 1 meter. 1 meter per second velocity. 1 Newton. 1 kg meter per second. These are all different vectors. This is displacement, velocity, unit force, unit momentum, 1 kg meter per second. So magnitude 1 vectors are called as a unit vectors. And also we define unit vector like 1i or 1j, etc. as magnitude of the given vector divided by its magnitude. Vector divided by its magnitude is a unit vector. Now this vector has value as well as direction. That is indicated here by this arrow mark. That value is made 1 when you divide it by its own value. See the small difference in these two notations. This is something like 10i, 10i. This is just a 10. So what we get is a 1 I. I indicates direction. I is not a value. So this is a value and direction quantity. This is only value. So what we get is 1i in this case. So any vector divided by its own magnitude gives a unit vector, is the definition of unit vector. And along the different directions, along x-axis, 1i is a unit vector. Along the y-axis, 1j is the unit vector. And 1k is the unit vector along the z direction. So I, j, k are unit vectors along the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. For example, I have a vector expressed as 3i plus 4j. 3i plus 4j is a vector. What does it mean? This vector has value of 3 along the x direction. At the same time, it has a value of 4 along y direction. That is the meaning of it. Vector A expressed as 3i plus 4j means its values along two directions, x and y directions, are indicated in this particular vector, which may be a displacement A, velocity A, force A, whatever that means. I have got a displacement particle moving along this particular direction, and when it goes from this point O to A, you will notice that along x-axis it has covered 3 meters, 3 units. At the same time, along y direction it has covered 4 units. So actually it has neither gone along x or nor along y. Displacement is along some other direction. But in that displacement only we can notice 3 unit displacement along the x and 4 unit displacement along the y. And this is the complete vector A. These are known as components of that vector along the x and y directions, which appear in this particular notation. So this also talks about one important fact linked with vectors called resolution of vector. I'll come to that afterwards. I'm mentioning about unit vector, the meaning of that. Unit vector into the actual value in a particular direction is indicated in the given vector. So value is 3 for x direction, that is 3i. Unit vector 1i into 3 becomes 3i. Unit vector 1j into 4 becomes 4j. The combination of these two is the actual vector A. What is that actual vector? Can you tell me here? Actual vector. If you remember something about this, the actual vector happens to be 3 square plus 4 square and root of it. That is called the magnitude. Magnitude of a vector here. For a vector A, is given by the formula magnitude of A is given by root of ax square plus ay square. If you measure using a scale, you have 3 centimeter here, 4 centimeter here, then this diagonal exactly becomes 5 centimeter. Check whether it's true or not afterwards. Because 3 square, how much? 9. 4 square, 16. Add how much? 25. Root of that, 5 becomes. Okay, back to the different types of vectors. I mentioned about this one type called unit vector. Secondly, null vector does not require much explanation. Null vector means 0, no magnitude for that. Then what is the meaning of that? Why should we talk about null vector? No, the only reason why we mention how direction is possible for a physical quantity having no existence. 0 means what? Nothing is there. So for nothing, how can we have direction? It is as ambiguous as talking about some what Pishachis and all. Whether it is true or not, no one knows. So because they do not have any physical quantities linked with them, length, height, etc. No one knows what is it. No one can measure mass, weight, etc. Only in movies we have got some appearance, imaginary appearances given for them. So like that, null vector does not have any existence. Why we call as vector, null vector? It is a mathematical formality. Suppose you have two vectors of magnitude, say 3 this way, and exactly opposite to that, again you have got. So minus 3 and plus 3 you can call them. Their combination results in a 0 vector. So that is one physical condition we have linked with the null vector. How null vector is produced? Two equal and opposite vectors when act at a point, the result is a null vector. Something like 3 minus 3 equal to 0 in mathematics, or 3 plus minus 3 equal to 0. Two vectors of equal magnitude when act in opposite direction, they result in 0. And since these are two vectors, their combination must yield a vector is one idea. So we call it as 0 vector. Otherwise, nothing we can talk about its value. Value is not there. Direction also meaningless when there is no value for that. For 1 we can have a direction. 1 point, 2 point something vector we can have direction. But 0 vector, no meaning in talking about direction. So null vector in simple is a vector with the 0 magnitude. Now what is negative vector? Negative vector. As I mentioned earlier, I have one vector with the some magnitude shown as say 3 units. I call it as A. For this particular vector, if there is one more like this of same magnitude, then we can write it as actually minus A, because value is the same, direction is exactly opposite. So a vector which has the same magnitude like another vector, but direction exactly opposite, is called as a negative vector of that given vector. So this negative vector is for that particular vector. I can't say this is negative vector of again a same magnitude vector here. Is it negative of that? No, because it is not opposite to this vector. Opposite means what? It should be along the same line and other direction. This one cannot be called as opposite for this. Value may be same. So value, if it is same, that is not sufficient. Value should be same, direction must be opposite. That vector is called as a negative vector for the given vector. And as I mentioned earlier, you can also define negative vector as a vector which when combined with the given vector yields 0 vector. Vector A plus this minus vector. Vector A plus minus A together becomes a 0 vector or null vector. So negative vector can be called as that vector which when combined with the given vector we get a 0 vector or null vector. Then equal vectors, quite simple. They are the vectors with the same magnitude as well as same direction. Both should be same. In this case, magnitude must be same, negative vector case, and direction must be opposite. Whereas in equal vectors, they must be of same magnitude as well as direction. Like vectors have one of these two conditions of equal. Means they must have same direction, but values can be different. They are called like vectors, both in the same direction. Magnitude one may have 1, other one may have 10, whatever that. Unlike vectors, similarly. What is the meaning of unlike vectors? They are the vectors exactly in the opposite directions. They may have equal magnitude also, but that is not the condition here. The definite condition required is must be in the opposite direction. They are called unlike vectors. An important term in connection with the couple coming in vectors part. Couple. What is couple? A combination of two equal and opposite vectors acting at two different points on a body. And these two equal and opposite forces constitute a rotation or torque, what you call, for the body. So there we need this equal and opposite, or two unlike vectors of equal magnitude. Magnitude should be same, direction must be opposite. They constitute so-called couple or torque. So these are different types of vectors. Now let's go back to the point I mentioned earlier, resolution of a vector. Resolution of a vector. Resolution of a vector is a process of obtaining the effective vectors of a given vector. Effective vectors can be called as components of the given vector. So process of obtaining effective vectors along different directions. Different directions can be called as resolution of a vector. Now what is the meaning of this? I mentioned earlier, here is a vector A, and that vector A does not have the full effect along this particular direction. What is the effect of that vector A along the x-axis? I mentioned earlier. For this full vector A of say magnitude 5, what is the effect along x-axis? 3. So actually it is 5 in my example, but only 3 is effective along this particular direction. So that is called as component of the vector. If vector A makes some angle theta with the x-axis, the component of that vector A along x-axis I have shown there as 3. Now let us go for a symbolic representation. Instead of 3, I call it as AX is the component. Similarly, AY is the component of the vector along the y-axis. So vector A has components AX and AY. Now we have to get how much is AX compared to A. In my example, I took A as 5, I got AX as 3. It can be anything depending upon that angle. So in general, we can find out AX value in terms of A like this. Take this right angled triangle OCA. In this triangle, what is cos theta equal to? In a triangle OCA, what is cos theta? Adjacent by hypotenuse. That is CO divided by OA. What is CO? CO is nothing but AX. Symbolically AX I took it. A subscript X. And what is A? OA? It is A. That means AX is equal to what? A cos theta. A cos theta is not just a single representation. It is A into cos theta. Cos theta value multiplied by A becomes the component of vector A along x direction in this case. Similarly, what is sin theta equal to? Sin theta. What is the definition of sin theta? Rakesh has come.
Yeah, Rakesh is there, Spandana is there.
Okay. Sin theta means what? Opposite divided by hypotenuse. Opposite side is AC, hypotenuse is OA, and AC is actually AY, and OA is A, which means AY can be written as A sin theta. So component AY is A sin theta and component AX is A cos theta. So these are the resolved parts of the given vector along X and Y directions, we can say, or components of vector A along X and Y directions. Now, how many components a vector has? Rakesh, how many components a vector has?
2 components.
Two components I mentioned now, but actually number is not restricted to 2. It can be infinitely many different components. Components are not just along X and Y directions. For example, if I take a vector A this way with an angle theta mentioned for some other direction, you can see this. Here also it is A cos theta, and if I take here as angle different, something like this is actually A cos 20 degree. This is a 30 degree. A cos 30. A cos 30 is different from A cos 20. I can take one more direction. A cos 100. There is a value. I can take here A cos 150, etc. Along any direction, I can get a cos component like this. Angles different and values also will be different for this vector. So for a given vector, we can have infinitely many components. You name a direction, there you have got a component. But components are not there along the direction where cos 90 or cos 270 comes. Because cos 90 is equal to 0. So when a given vector has a direction perpendicular to it, there we don't have component. Perpendicular to a vector, we don't have component. For example, acceleration due to gravity is acting downwards. Imagine I am keeping this duster or this box on that wooden plank. You keep on chairs, plank. Will it slide downwards just like it's free fall in downward direction? When I drop it, how it falls? Will it fall in the same manner on this with the same varying speeds along this inclined plane? You understood the question? I am dropping it. Next, I have got a wooden plank kept here. On that top, I am keeping it. It slides down. This is sliding speed variation and this fall, vertical fall. Do you think they are similar? What is the difference? In the vertical fall case, the speed variation happens more rapidly. Quicker changes happen compared to the sliding case. Slower, much slower it is in fall along the inclined plane. Instead of this particular plane, if I make it still more inclined with the vertical here, now, no, it becomes still slower. When my plane is close to the vertical like this, it is quite closer for the free fall, but not as free as this vertical fall. Correct? As I increase this angle, the effectiveness decreases. That means what? Component of acceleration due to gravity here and in this direction if you take, where it is more? when the angle is less or more with vertical. Less with less, when it is less with vertical, we have more closeness in the movement compared to vertical part. As this angle increases, effectiveness of G decreases or components of G decrease with the increase of angle. So that is about the effectiveness. So here if I take at an angle of 30 degree exactly, it is G cos 30 what I have. Means cos 30 is 0.86. So nearly it is 0.86 G what I have here, 86% of G. If I increase the angle to 60 degree, it is exactly G cos 60. What is G cos 60? 0.5 G, half of that. So which is more, 0.86 G more or 0.5 G more? 0.86. So as I increase the angle, the effectiveness decreases or components of G decrease. And how many components you can imagine like this? Infinite. For every angle, you will have some component of G, which is different from component along other direction. So it's maximum along this direction, totally downwards. And then for different angles, we get different components of G. That's the meaning of resolution of a vector or obtaining the effective values of a vector along the different directions. Now you can see one more interesting thing, which I mentioned earlier actually. You square and add these two equations. Okay, before that, and these two components, which are wrongly thought as the only components by many students, are actually called by name rectangular components. They are special components. What is special about them? They are perpendicular to each other. So the two mutually perpendicular components are called by name rectangular components. But rectangular components are not the only components of given vector. You can have many different components. Now in this particular equation, Ax equal to A cos theta and Ay equal to A sin theta, you can see one more important thing. Square and add them. What do you get then? If you square and add those equations 1 and 2, what do you get? Adding and squaring and adding these two equations. Squaring and then 1 plus 2. Ax square plus ay square equal to a square cos square theta plus sin square theta. What is cos square theta plus sin square theta? 1. Sin square theta plus cos square theta is 1. That means a square is equal to ax square plus ay square. So if you take rectangular components, you can just square them and take root to get the original vector A. A very important simple fact it is regarding rectangular components. Any doubt on these points? Yes, Darshan. Oh. Correct. Correct. Not considering for this angle theta. Here is angle theta. No. So it depends upon the selection of theta. For this theta, this is opposite. You can't call this as opposite. So here I have written already. See, OD is same as AC. No. Yes, correct. And that AC is equal to OD now. So OD already I have to cut as AY. OD and AC, they are not different. Also any vector, this is the component also is a vector, can be displaced parallel to itself without any loss. Because direction is still same, magnitude is same. So value right is not important. I can simply push it here to this direction. So that EAC exactly matches or coincides with the OD. I'm not doing any harm for the mathematics here. So in two ways I can answer your question. Value you can watch or you can shift a vector also. A vector can always be shifted parallel to itself. As long as direction is not changed, magnitude is not changed, you can still call it as the original vector itself. Any doubt? Okay. Next important thing here is to generalize this for three directions. What is the meaning of that? I took only two rectangular components here, but actually I can take three components in general. Instead of particle moving from corner O to A directly this way, if it comes outside the board like this, then I have a resolution to be made like this. Along X direction I have got some movement, Y direction also there is some movement, Z direction outside the board also there is some movement. So we have to write this vector A as Ax along I, Ay along J direction and Az along Z direction. So in general, not more than three we can have, because we can have in space only X, Y, Z, three directions. So this is a general representation of a vector. For the sake of simplicity, we took vector in a plane there. If you go to space, space means not to region where moon, stars situated, etc. This is space now. This is one particular plane. Coming out is a space. X, Y, Z, three coordinates are necessary for that. Can you tell me what is the magnitude? Like here we got magnitude as a root. A square equal to Ax square plus Ay square we got. Root of that is a magnitude of vector A. Similarly, what is the magnitude of vector A in this case? It is root of Ax square plus Ay square plus Az square. Now in the previous part, you can also include one direction related aspect, tan theta, opposite by adjacent, AC by OC, that is AY by AX. If you take that ratio directly, tan theta you will get, and theta, what angle is made by the vector A with the x-axis, that can be understood as theta equal to tan inverse of AY by AZ. But direction indication here it is not easy. Because it comes out like this. With respect to one plane, you can talk about the angle here. So if you know the value A here for Ax and Ay, with that A, what angle this original vector here coming outside board makes, that can be obtained again. So it's a bit complicated one to indicate the direction for a vector in a space. Whereas in the previous case, it's quite easy. In a triangle, opposite angle by adjacent will get as tan theta, and theta is equal to tan inverse of Ay upon Az we can have. Can almost imagine this is a Ax, this is a Ay, and from this particular corner to the opposite corner I should take here. So that this part exactly is a Az, Ax, Ay, Az, and this is our total vector A. Opposite corner, diagonally opposite corner, that indicates a full vector. So all components Ax, Ay, Az indicated here in this. This is a 3D version of the previous figure. There it is in one plane, here it is in space. This is the complete vector A from not same plane corner, from one plane to other plane here. This is front plane here, this is the back side plane, and from this corner here, origin, to the other end, we have got the vector indication. Just take one example on this. A vector A is given by A equal to A arrow mark equal to 6i plus 8j, 6i cap plus 8j cap. Question is, find the magnitude and direction of vector. What is the magnitude of this vector? Magnitude. What is it? Modulus of A, root of Nidhi, what is it? That is the indication. Magnitude means what? I cleared that one. No. This is how we write the magnitude. No, madam. The magnitude. What is AX here? Vector A to be compared with the AXI plus AYJ. What is AX in my example? In place of AX, what do we have here? In place of AY, what do we have? 8. So what is the formula we had earlier? Magnitude is given by root of AX square plus AY square. Substitute for AX and AY. What do we get? So what I would write here? 6 square plus 8 square becomes root of 36 plus 64, which is equal to root of how much? 100. And hence we get the magnitude as a how much? 10 unit. It may be 10 meter or 10 meter per second, 10 meter per second square, 10 Newton, whatever that. We are not talking about physics part, mathematically. Unit you can write in general as the value of that vector. And what you have to do for direction aspect of vector? Direction part. I mentioned at the end. To identify the angle. We don't know the angle here. If you want to represent this vector, I can write like this. This is our 8i, this is our, 6i, this is 8j. This is our 10 value what you got. Vector A we got as 10. So this angle we have to identify. How to get this? Tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. That is AY by AX. What is that? 8 by 6. Which comes as 1.333. 4 by 3 or 1.33. That number you have to search in tan table. That might come around 53 degrees some minutes. So that way. Anyway, finding the angle is not possible for these numbers in competitive exams because they don't give logbooks. So you can simply write that theta, if required, is a tan inverse of this number. 4 by 3 you can write or 1.33 you can write. That is the answer for the question. What is the direction of vector? Is it clear? Spandana. Meghana. Any doubt? Find out the magnitude of this particular vector. A given as 3i minus 2j plus 4k. What is the magnitude? How do you find square root of? What is it? Same method. There we had two numbers. Here we have three numbers. So root of 3 square plus then minus 2 square or plus 2 square. There is no difference. So you can just write plus 2 square. And lastly plus 4 square, which is root of 9 plus 4, 13 plus 16, root of 29. And what is that value? That is not important. You can simply leave it as root of 29 because you can't use calculator, no logbook. Leave it as root of 29. Three? That's what I said. Here, the direction indication is not easy here because it is not in the same plane here. It's going like here. From this corner, it has come up here, this way. You can talk about the angle with the one plane, down plane if you want. What you have to do is, you can find out what direction it makes here with the x or y. This is x, this is y. So I can find out this particular angle by that same tan theta. I have got ay here, ax here. So tan theta I'll get. So this direction is found. And then with that direction, what direction this makes? That you can find out. Here is our result of ax and ay. Root of ax square plus ay square. Number we have now. And this az. So az by this value if you take, you'll get again angle. So that way in 2 steps we can find out what angle it makes with the plane, xy plane, in case required. That's a complicated issue. Directly you cannot find using one particular method because it comes in space now. We don't have 2 things there. 3 things will come. So in 2 steps like that you can find out if required. So that's why I didn't write any equation for that. But it's possible. Like for ax and az here, I'll get one intermediate direction. It comes here. And then that and this root of ax square plus az square here. And ay in my figure here. I'll get angle. This angle can be found out. You can try that. Tell me in the next class. You can get the answer for this particular problem. So 2 different angles. Once this one, okay, that this angle is not important for us. This value you can find out. Ax square plus az square root. You'll get this value. That value and this is ay only. So for those 2 numbers, you'll get an angle. Tan theta. Again you can use. Ay, okay, I can write here if you want. Tan theta in my figure here is equal to, this is ay only. Ay divided by root of ax square plus az square. That is the angle in space. But I'm giving the angle with the one plane here, xy, xz plane. My z is different here. Normally we take xy in the horizontal plane, z up. I made a small change here. Or you can make the change like a normal way. This can be taken as ay here, ax ay. So ax square plus ay square I can take like this, and this one I can call as z. That is okay. Usual one. Make it az in this figure if you want, and here ax, here ay. So this is exactly root of ax square plus ay square. This is az. So az divided by root of ax square plus ay square. Now it's perfect. The usual notation. Z I took as up here. Xy in horizontal plane I took. This is not relevant. I have not seen any question about this angle for 3 vectors, 3 components case. But this is quite simple, important fact. Now, last one important thing here is about scalar multiplication of a vector. Scalar multiplication of vector means a vector when multiplied by a number like lambda we write, it becomes enhanced or reduced proportionately depending upon the lambda value. If lambda is half, my vector is half of the original one. If lambda is 5, it is 5 times that one. But the direction is not changing when lambda is positive. For positive lambda multiplication, Direction is unchanged. Direction is same for the result also. Direction is same. But if it is minus lambda, what I am multiplying, then what happens? Direction becomes opposite. Not only value variation, value scale magnitude changes as well as direction becomes opposite. If it is minus, if it is positive, direction remains same, only magnitude is changed. It may be more or less depending upon that lambda value. That is called scalar multiplication of a vector. And a vector is multiplied by a number, scalar quantity. The magnitude changes depending upon lambda value. If lambda is a minus negative number, then the direction becomes opposite for the resulting vector along with the magnitude variation.